derivative 9 examples, and well, let's just do a few of these higher order derivatives. First off, let's start with what we need to find. We need to find the first, the second derivative. Oops, not two primes, right? Y dot not prime 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 y prime 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 prime. So that's 4 sets that we need to find, and I'm just going to do a real quick one. Y equals x to the 5th. We know the answer to that, but how about plus 6x squared minus 7x? Well, y prime will equal 5x to the 4th power. Remember, you do them all independently. Plus 12x minus 7. Keep going. Y prime prime is equal to 20x to the 3rd power plus 12. Keep it going. I'm going to drop down here. Y prime 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 equals 60x squared, and then as you go, notice how it's getting simpler and simpler. Quad prime is 120x. Alright, well, let's show you a trig function. The trig functions will seem like they're never going to end, and let me just tell you, they won't. They're not going to end. As a matter of fact, there's only a few small cases where you can actually get them to end, and that's just through a simplification. So, let's start off. Y prime will equal, what will that equal? Remember, you have to do the chain rule based off of its 2x, right? So, I'm just going to kind of foresee what everything is, and it's going to be minus 2 sine 2x. Notice that I pulled the 2 out already, and cosine turns into negative sign. So I just toss a negative in front of everything. Work to the next one. Y triple prime. Once again, I'm going to pull that 2 out. Sine goes to cosine, right? So pulling the 2 out, it will be negative 4. And then sine will go to cosine. So cosine 2x. Simple. Let's do, oh sorry, that wasn't triple prime. That was just double prime. Y triple prime though, that one's going to equal, essentially you just break it down once again, times 2, and then you're going to bring the negative over again because you have cosine, so it's just going to be 8 sine 2x. And then finally, you can do a quad prime. 16 cosine 2x. So, none of these really seem out of place. They just take time to recognize. I'm just underlining all the solutions. Let me star where I start here. Alright, let's start on another one. Let's do something a little bit odd and ridiculous. How about, let's do this. 1 minus 7t6. Now this is going to seem a little bit intense, and that's y equals. So you're going to start off, you're going to find what y prime is, right? So that's going to, you have to multiply that 6 down. So you have to multiply that 6 down. Then you have 1 minus 7t to the 5th power, but then you have to multiply it by the derivative of what was inside the parentheses based off the chain rule. So, you multiply it by, survey says, negative 7t. So the derivative of negative 7t is negative 7. Doesn't seem that intense yet, but you'll notice that the function did not clean up. Matter of fact, it got pretty messy. Well, get used to that, because we're going to hop right into the second prime, which is negative 42, which is already there. times, once again, the power, which is 5, the whole function, 7t, to the 4th power, then the derivative of what was inside, -7. You'll notice that that is starting to get pretty hairy of a solution. We just hold to our system though, and we can punch right through this. We have 1470 times 4, the power, right? Minus 1 minus 7t to the 3rd power. And multiply it by the derivative of what was inside, once again. So, then you notice that goes back to negative because of the -7, so 41, 160, all multiplied by 1 minus 7t to the 3rd power. Let's do it one more time. Can't say I ever mistreat ya. 41, 160. Alright, then we're going to multiply it by the power, which drops down. That's going to be 3. 1 minus 7t to the 2nd power, all times the derivative of what was inside. And this one turns out to be like 864,360 to the power of, or to the quantity of 1 minus 7t to the 2nd power. So, you'll realize that this starts to get a little insane when you're asked to do it a bunch of times. And that's just in this type of function, but you'll realize this pretty consistently. How about we do a different one? How about this one last one right here? I'm going to put the star. Y equals x cubed e to the 5x. Yeah, that's a good one. So, remember, you got your rules, right? Your product rules. So, I'm just going to do it in my head. The way I remember it is the derivative of the first plus the derivative of the second. And you just keep everything the same. So, just know that you're always multiplying. So, I do the derivative of the first, which is 3x squared times g, which is going to be 3e to the 5x power, plus, then you just leave the first one the same, then you multiply it by the derivative of the x, which is just 5 times e to the 5x. Very good. So then that works itself out. I'm going to let you do the simplifying, but let's punch to the next one, second prime. Second prime is going to go through the same similar process. I mean, I don't know if I really even need to do this, but you can tell that now I have to do this one and this one, and it gets really, really, really messy really, really, really quick. You can simplify this one out. I would probably try and do that first. Shoot, 5x to the 3rd power plus 3x squared, all to the e to the 5x. I think that's right. Don't hold me to it. So then, let's just do y double prime. 15x squared plus 6x, right? Because we're doing them individually again, right? Doing the first, take the derivative of the first, and then we multiply it by the second, which is e to the 5x. Then we plus what we had before, which was 5x to the 3rd power plus 3x squared, by the derivative of the second one, so 5e to the 5x. And I'm really not going to solve this one right now for you, but you can see the rest of this is really just algebra, and not just algebra, but I would just call it annoying algebra, because it seems to get more and more tedious the further and further you go into this this type of of actions, where you're taking a derivative again and again and again. It just keeps getting worse and worse, and the problem takes longer and longer. So I know it takes long, but it's not that hard. Just understand the systematic approach to it, and you'll do fine. So anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next